Any more questions, Ms. Rodriguez? All right, is that a motion? Okay, motion by Ms. Rodriguez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Joji Gonzalez. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, item number 1011A-8, Mr. Joji Gonzalez.
Basically, Mr. Limon, I need for you to tell us what the recommendation is.
Yes, sir. What we are recommending is that this is part of the fuel station for the Transportation Department. Transportation is being moved from the high school to the UTEX area. And to do so, we have to create a new fueling station for all our buses. We have here a proposal that's been turned in by the CIS companies, and it's part of the Texas Interlocal Purchasing System, which is the purchasing co-op. They've given us a turnkey proposal for $341,115. But if some of our own employees do some of the work, and I gave you a handout, and if you look at the last page of that handout that I gave you, if we deduct the canopy and if we deduct the electrical work and do that in-house, it brings the cost down to $281,115. Our own maintenance department can put the canopy up. Our own maintenance department can do the electrical work for those prices that you see there. And we're also already doing the offices inside for that price. So the total cost, as you see, is $376,000. We have a settlement from the Hurricane Dolly that some money was able to come in, that we were able to, we can use that money without going into fund balance and still be within the budget. And we do, our long-term plan was when we purchased the UTEX building some 5 years ago, was to eventually have all our departments located there. Food service is there already, maintenance is there already, the print shop is there already. The one major department that has not moved is transportation. So by doing this now, we would be able to move transportation and have all our departments under that facility over at the UTEX.
And you would create more space at the high school.
We would create more space at the high school and also make the environment there a lot safer.
Okay. You've
And
got
our-
here 341,000 right here on this proposal.
Right,
And then you have where 376 if we do it. Okay, would you explain all of that, please?
yes, what we're saying, that if we do it ourselves, we would spend $376,000, and in the process of doing it ourselves, we would save somewhere in the vicinity of that $341,000, which was a turnkey deal, but that did not include the $70,000 that we're using for the offices. So
Okay,
we're,
I guess that's where you got me confused, because
Right.
you have your 341 turnkey, and then you have us, if we do it, it's 376, wait a
well,
minute, it doesn't
take,
sound right.
yeah, take the 70 from the office off of there, so the turnkey would be about
Okay,
$306,000.
that's what I want to hear, Mr. Limon.
Okay. I had included the 70,000 because that was part of the overall budget. So my recommendation is for us to accept the proposal from CAS for $281,115, and for the rest of the work to be done in-house, and get this approved so we can move the transportation department over there.
So really what we're gonna pay, Mr. Limon, is 281,000.
$281,000 to the CAS company so that they can bring in the gas tanks and bring in the fueling stations and leave everything ready for our own people to come up and put the canopy up and to do the electrical work out there.
Okay.
Well, I guess if there's no more discussion, I'd like to go ahead and move that we approve this item.
I second the motion.
All right, motion on the floor to approve this item by Mr. Joji Gonzalez, second by Mr. Manuel Gonzalez. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 1011A-9, Ms. Rodriguez. I have a question on that.
I have a question on Exhibit D4. D4. That's for a transfer of funds for table rentals. Does our district not have tables purchased by the district rather than going out and renting?
No, ma'am, we do not have tables, but that's something that we've been discussing in the past, of being able to purchase tables and to store them. And now that we, have the UTEX and we'll have some space over there, we could start doing that. But to answer your question, no, We don't have enough tables to do that.
Okay, we can consider that. That's more cost-effective, I think, rather than having to purchase from outside sources.
Yes, ma'am, we spent $222 for this, but
Also, I have a question on Exhibit D37. And on that one, I'd like for it to be taken off of the transfers for consideration. I'd like to get a cost comparison of concrete versus the cold mix, because I see that there's $14,400 being used towards the cold mix for the transportation parking lot at UTEX. What would be the cost comparison if, rather than getting the cold mix, we get concrete, so that it serves long-term?
Mr. Garcia, can you tell me, can you answer that? I noticed this was signed by, this today. Has this been done already?
It has been done, yes.
This is the repair work that we did for those holes that were there, correct?
We patched all the parking lot for the transportation.
There was a cost of $143,000 to redo that parking lot. So we didn't have the money, so I made the decision, and I told Mr. Garcia to go ahead and patch up all those holes that were there. And that's what this material was purchased for, was to patch up the holes that were there. And if you go look at it now, I believe that this will hold at least for another 2 or 3 years before we have to do anything to it. And by then, hopefully, we'll have the money to resurface the whole thing. But the decision, in-house decision, administrative decision, was to go ahead and do that, because that was the most cost-effective.
If in the future, if you can, if you can let us know, because I would like to see a comparison, because eventually that patching up is not gonna last long-term. It's gonna have to be redone eventually.
Yes, ma'am. The superintendent has authority to handle things within $25,000, and it was my job to handle it, and I handled it.
But it would be a good idea just to look into it, and just so you can give us figures, maybe at a Friday update, más o menos, just so we can know what we're dealing with.
Well, it was
As far as the concrete for-
$143,000 would have been the cost to do it.
With concrete or
No,
Repave,
to-
to repave it.
To re-blacktop.
Yeah.
Okay, and the question, the question I'm asking, and I think Ileana's asking also, is how much would it cost? Would be more economical? Would be with the concrete or the?
Well, concrete's never in the question there, because we can't do it with concrete because this parking lot is blacktop. And we can't put concrete to patch up holes that are on blacktop. So that wouldn't have been feasible. The only feasible thing was to redo the whole parking lot, but we do not have the funding at this time to do that.
Okay, well, but just so we can,
Was the patchwork done just on the transportation end, or was it done full-blown UTEX work?
It was, my understanding was done on the transportation side, or did you go to the other side as well?
We
David?
had some cold mix left over, and we went around the whole building, in front of the clinic, the doctor's clinic, and we went around the maintenance side, and basically all the holes everywhere were patched up. That parking lot is in very, very bad shape. The asphalt that was existing is only like three-quarters of an inch thick, so it needed a lot of work. And those buses, they're very heavy, and they tear up that blacktop easy.
I mean, I know that it does need work, and
Yeah.
I wish we would have the money to pave the whole thing, or, you know.
Well, yeah, like Mr.
but
Limon
we
said,
don't.
140,000.
Now, this mixture that we're questioning here, that's the mixture that we used just to patch, right?
Right.
I mean, because concrete's obviously more expensive,
Very, very.
very much
so,
more
yeah.
expensive.
But you couldn't even use concrete in
You
this
couldn't use
particular-
concrete on
Well,
it.
you probably could if the holes were really deep, but if you're gonna patch a hole that's only, let's say, 4 inches thick, it's eventually gonna crack on you too, and you're gonna end up with a mess. And there's a lot of valley, that parking lot was made up with a lot of valley gutters to prevent that, so the water would flow out to one side where the drainage ditch is. Well, that also needs a lot of work, so we had to build up that asphalt, accordingly, so the water would flow. So, we're talking, that's why they were gonna charge us so much money,
And this
'cause it
is
needs a lot
around
of
our
work.
new fueling area that we're gonna have also. I mean, there's some patching that needed to get done in that area as
Well,
well.
hopefully the fuel station will be further
Further down,
towards the back.
further down.
Right.
Okay.
she's talking about on the side, right, on the side. What you talking about?
No, I know it's in the back, Mr. Gonzalez, but what I'm saying is that, we're gonna anticipate more traffic out there with the new buses going out there, with the additional buses. So I just, I'm just thinking out loud here that
Eventually,
we're gonna have to.
Right. We've
Yeah.
done the straight line that's adjacent with the building, we've done that.
Right.
So it'll be a little less, but
Okay.
it's very expensive to blacktop.
It's a black top, huh?
It's very expensive.
Black top. That cold mix is black top.
Yes.
We did, and that wasn't too much better than 143,000. Yeah.
Mr. Garcia, and, say 6 truck loads. What kind of trucks were? Trucks
They
or
were
trailers?
dump trucks, yes.
They were not trailers?
No. Cold mix is more expensive than hot mix. Cold mix, you could have it, we have piles of it, we have a pile at the high school that we use just on standby to fix holes in all the parking lots.
Yeah,
throughout
I
the
know,
district.
Mr. Garcia, but these are just regular trucks. They're not
14
trailers.
yards, 14, 15 yard truck,
6 loads
Dump
for
truck.
$14,000.
yes, sir.
And they were not trailers.
No, they were not trailers.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other
questions?
questions, Mr. Clerk? Is that a motion?
Okay, that is a motion by Mr. Rodriguez. Is there a second? Okay, second by Mr. Manuel Gonzalez. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. All right, we'll move on to item number 8, our closed meeting. Discussion under the authority of the Texas Government Code 551.071 for the purpose of a private consultation with board's attorney on any or all subjects or matters authorized by law. A, pending litigations. 551.074 for the purpose of the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee to hear complaints or charges against a public officer or employee. A, report on personnel. B, level 3 grievance, Eleazar Esquivel. It is 7:25. We are now in executive session.